Hey guys, it's Esme. How are you? I don't know how many of you are actually going to be seeing this live because I had everything set up in Facebook's new live scheduler. And when it was time to go live, it just kept loading and loading and loading and loading. So this probably isn't even the link that most of you have. So, anyway. Um, I hope everybody's doing well tonight. And there were a few things that I wanted to talk with you guys about. I promised when I started this journey to write my book that I would bring you guys along with me. And so that's what I'm doing. Um, Technology is consistently and persistently frustrating to me. I cannot seem to get things to work the way they're supposed to or the way I want them to. Urgh. Um, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it. The topic for tonight's live video was supposed to be um, things that you've been told probably all of or most of your life that you can't do or shouldn't try. And the fact that, hi, Shauna, the fact that that in all likelihood is not the truth. Um, but let me deal with the technology frustrations first. I was all excited when I saw Facebook's new interface for setting up and scheduling a live video, and I spent probably 45 minutes on it earlier today, only to find out that when I went to use it just now, it definitely had glitches and is probably still sitting in another window somewhere loading. Yep, I see live producer is still in my tabs up there, so whatever. Um, Other things that have been cropping up is this is way more, I'm not going to say difficult, challenging. Challenging is a better word than I thought it would be because in my mind, I thought, okay, I'm finally ready to write my book. I'm finally ready to write my life story. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write and there you go. I'm just going to write this book and then I'll think about whether I want to publish or self-publish and all that. And then I find out because of the digital world that we live in, it's just not that easy anymore. Like there's this stuff. There's all this stuff you have to do. You have to have a platform and you have to um, build that platform and you have to get up to speed with what's going on in a digital world. And I'm like, I just want to write a book. Jeez. Anyway, but I'm working through it. I'm working through it. There was, you know, a process that I was advised would be really helpful to me um, in being more present on social media, which I'm told is very necessary if you want to be successful as an author, since everyone buys their books on Amazon now. Um, and I spent the better part of yesterday working on that. And I was so frustrated at times and literally like, I'm just going to give up. I can't do this. But I stuck with it. I get up and I walked away a few times and I came back to my computer and I worked on it and worked on it and worked on it until I finally figured it out all by myself. And my daughter offers me all kinds of help, and I'm so appreciative of that. And she's awesome. I think I told you that in a previous video. So if you need marketing help, Pinball Media Vermont, yeah, check her out either on Facebook or Instagram. Um, but I'm so stubborn and I'm so independent. It's like, no, I can do this. It may take me 10 times longer than it does someone else, but I can do this. So I did it, and I'm really proud of me. Um, and then when I was getting ready for this video tonight, I thought, I'm going to try and make this look more professional because, like a lot of the teachers and mentors that I have followed for years and subscribed to, they have these nice, well organized offices with just the perfect things on the walls in the background. And um, hi, Lorena. I share my office with a Shih Tzu who is at my feet right now, and three birds who look like shrouded mummies behind me. So I put up this wonderful screen that I that I bought, and the first time I put it up, I took a public opinion poll on Facebook, asking people, what they thought and if they had any suggestions. And there was a lot of suggestions about how, because I'm so short, the shelf on the screen kind of ran right through my head. And then other people said things about don't put anything on the shelf, it detracts from you. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that tonight. I'm gonna look all professional and like I got my shit together, right? So I put up the screen, and for the life of me, I could not get that thing centered. Either everything, whoops, everything on that side was showing, or part of the bird cage was still hanging out. Then at one point, it almost fell on me. And despite what everybody else said, I was going to put an orchid, like, nope, wrong shoulder, over this shoulder because that thing was near death and I nursed it back to life and it's in full bloom and y'all were going to see it. It was just that simple. But none of that worked out. And finally I realized, you know, like I am trying to bring the message of being comfortable in your own skin and being authentic and being your true self and honoring who you really are. And this is who I really am. This is my office behind me. That's my parrot over there, and those are the budgies over there. And yes, I hang colored lights or white lights all over my house all the time. It's just the way it is. So at the end of the day, I don't even really know why I asked for feedback because I was just going to do what I wanted to do anyway, because that's kind of how I roll. Anyway, so that's what the journey's been like so far. I am writing. I am making not an attempt, an effort to schedule at least 2 hours a day every day for writing, and most days I am achieving that goal, and I feel really good about that. Um, but back to what the topic of this video was supposed to be, being told that you can't do things, because I hear that all the time in my holistic practice and in coaching and counseling. I hear all the time, especially from women, I was told that I was no good at this, or I was told that I couldn't do that, or I was told that I shouldn't want this because it's too big of a goal for me and I'll never achieve it. And I just wanted to say that I heard those things my entire life as well. Um, I was told when I was, well, first of all, when I was, I don't know, probably 4 or 5, I came in the house all excited because I had had an encounter in the woods behind our house, and I was certain that I had seen fairies. And to this day, I know that I saw fairies. Yes, I believe in fairies, um, and all other kinds of elementals and spirits of nature. But I ran excitedly into the house and I told my mom, and she turned on her heels and she was so angry with me. And she said, "Don't you ever, ever say that again. And for gosh sakes, don't tell anybody else. They will lock you up." And so I went upstairs to my room and I sat there and I was like, but I know what I saw. But she scared the bejesus out of me. And so I never did tell anyone. And I never did speak of it again because I didn't even know what it meant. They'll lock you up. But it didn't sound like a good thing. So I wasn't down with that. So I let go of that. And I never allowed myself to believe in the magical. I never allowed myself to, hey, everybody. Um, Never allowed myself to honor my true feelings and what I know that I know that I know. I listened to everybody else about what I should look like, what I should talk like, what I should think like, what I should speak like, how I should parent my kids, how I should everything. And slowly over the course of my lifetime, being told I can't do this and I can't do that, um, I lost me and I became, I'm not even quite sure what. Looking back now, not a person that I liked a whole lot, and certainly not anyone I would aspire to be now. just basically a shell of a human being seeking affirmation, admiration, um, love from others without cultivating love for myself. Um, when I was about 8 years old, I started taking dance lessons at 3, and I loved dancing. Oh my gosh, I love dancing so much. And my mom told me when I was about 8 years old, of course, I didn't realize at the time she had a hidden agenda, that I should probably give up dance because I was probably never going to be good at it because I was kind of chubby, and everyone in my family was chubby, and I would probably be chubby all my life. And so dance probably wasn't going to work out really well for me. And she said in the same breath, but you could take music lessons. And although I was disappointed at having my dreams of dancing dashed, I thought, well, at least it's something. And so in my mind, I started running through the piano and the violin and the clarinet. And my mother says, your dad and I have decided that you should take accordion lessons. I thought to myself, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And when I grow up, I can be on the Lawrence Welk show. She had played the accordion when she was younger, so she kind of had a passion for it, and she was actually pretty good. Um, so, yep, I'm going to take accordion lessons at 8 years old and probably 3 foot nothing. And so they bought me this 120 bass um, accordion, and if you've ever seen one, it's huge. It's like it's huge, and you put it in the lap of an 8 year old, and I had to crane my neck to see over the top of it, and I hated it. Oh my gosh, I hated every minute of it. I hated the instrument. I just hated it, and finally I intentionally did as badly as I could. And my mom turned around and said, well, apparently you're no good at that either, and we're done wasting money on lessons. So that was the end of my music lessons in junior high and high school when I had the opportunity to be in the band and take an instrument. The answer was no, because I was just going to quit anyway, because that's what I would do. Um, Other things, I mean, I could give you so many other examples, art projects that were like, don't quit your day job. Um, just all kinds of things like that. And over a period of years, I really developed, hi, everybody. I really developed the belief that I'm probably not very good at anything creative. I'm not good at art. I'm not good at dancing. I'm not good at music. A whole host of things. You can't. And it doesn't just apply to talents, it applies to dreams that you have. You can't do that. You'll never succeed. It's too much, it's too big, it's too grandiose, and who are you? And so that's the way I live my life in this little, can't get all my hands on it, this little box that was created not by me, because I knew that I was a magical child and a magical person. But I kept getting put into this box, smaller and smaller and smaller, until finally it felt like there was no way out. When I was in my 50s, I started playing drums. And in my late 50s, I started playing the Native American flute just because I wanted to and I believed I could. And it didn't matter to me what it sounded like to anyone else because I wasn't playing for anyone else. I was playing for me. I was playing for my own personal joy. Um, I'd always envied people who could like look at a scene and recreate it on a canvas. But there was that little voice in the back of my head that was like, yeah, well, that's because they have talent and you don't. So, and 2.5 years ago, inspiration struck. I went out and I bought a bunch of paints and a bunch of brushes and an easel, just like a real artist, and a canvas. And I decided that I was going to paint my first painting. And the whole time I was like, oh, but what about this? And this isn't right. And that's not even. And I finally decided, it dawned on me, nobody has to like it but you, Esme. You're not painting for anyone else. You're painting because it brings you joy. And that painting hangs on my wall in my healing center. And since then, I have painted Thank you. I feel the love. I have painted probably more than half a dozen other paintings. Each one I personally love. And I just looked at one of my paintings the other day when I was with a client, and I was like, I did that. Like, wow, I can't believe I did that. Um, Dreaming, I never stopped dreaming. Once I started the process again, I never stopped. And I dream bigger and bigger and bigger all the time. So, the point of all these stories and what I'm trying to tell you is if there are people in your life, if there are have been people in your past, if those voices still live inside and make up what I call the itty bitty shitty committee that tells you you can't, you shouldn't, you won't succeed, don't even try, I just want to really encourage you. If you're younger than I am, and I'm going to be 63 in a few months, and it took me a long, long time to find my way out of that box. But man, let me tell you, once the lid was off, all hell broke loose. And there's no going back now. So if someone has put you in a box, if you've lived your life with limiting beliefs, if you believe that you dream too big, that things are impossible for you, that you're no good at this, that, or the other thing, I just want to encourage you to try your best to shake that off, to speak positively to yourself, and to try those things you always wanted to do. Even if it won't win you accolades from the world, as long as it brings you joy, as long as it makes you happy, as long as it makes you smile and feel content and feel as though you've accomplished something, go ahead and do it. Don't wait another moment because you only have today. Tomorrow is not promised. So think about the things that you've been told you can't, shouldn't, ought not do in your life. And if that spark is still alive inside you, I encourage you to just give it a little oxygen and fan that flame and let it spring to life. It's never too late. I'm living proof, and I'm not done yet. So that was the main message tonight. The other thing that I wanted to share with you guys, because you are all part of this journey that we're on together, and if I haven't said it before, I'm so thankful that you are here. I've done plenty of traveling by myself, gone on plenty of journeys by myself, but it's so much fun to have people along to share the experience with. I talked about before in my blog posts and on Twitter and Instagram that there's a book before the book. And I'm going to tell you guys first, well, not first, because I had to tell someone who's been so helpful to me, one of my daughters. The book is in editing right now and will be ready to be released very soon. And once it's done editing and once I am ready for that release, I'm going to let you all know how you can get a free copy. Yes. And if you read the book and if you put into practice the simple principle in the book, I promise you, promise, 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 it will change your life dramatically and cause a shift that you could never have expected. So, anyway, there's that. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Melissa. The other thing that I wanted to say is if you're on Facebook at all, and obviously you're here, I have been posting every single day for the past 3 days asking for help. And people who know me well, my kids, close friends, and things like that, will tell you it is not easy for Esme to ask for help. I don't know if it's the stubbornness, I don't know if it's the independence, but it isn't easy for me to ask for help. So finally, I broke down and I said, I need help, I'm going to ask for it. Apparently, in trying to get on top of this whole social media thing, when you have 100 subscribers on YouTube, you can get a dedicated URL for your YouTube channel, which makes posting it everywhere else so much easier. And when I started asking for help, I had 33 subscribers. And the last time I checked today, I'm up to 58. So if that's still the number, I still need 42 more subscribers because having a dedicated URL for my channel is going to make things so much easier for me. So this is me asking for help again. And like I posted earlier today, they say the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So here I am. Squeak, squeak, squeak. I need your help and I'm asking for it. That's pretty much all I've got. The book will be out any day now. I'll let you guys know how you can get your free copy. Um, all kinds of encouragement to dig down deep and find those things that you've been told you can't do, you shouldn't do, you're no good at, you have no talent, you dream too big, it'll never happen. And fan that flame. Go ahead and give it life. You deserve it, and so does your dream. Um, that's all I got for you tonight. Thanks so much for tuning in, all you guys. I really appreciate you. Um, I'd like to say that the background is going to change at some point and it's going to become like one of those office spaces that I see in so many other successful teachers and writers spaces. But I'm not making any promises because this is me and authentic authentic is authentic. So doing anything other than this would be pretending to be something that I'm not. And for now, this is what I am. And I love me. And I hope you do too. Have a wonderful evening. Thanks so much for tuning in. And I love you all. Mwah.